Welcome to Crimson Guitars, welcome to my home studio, and welcome to a live stream, a test live stream. This is incredibly short notice because I'm bored and I've had too much to eat, and my entire family decided that they actually would rather go to sleep. And I thought, do you know what? I have a workshop about 40 meters away and it's calling out for a little bit more sawdust. So here we go. It's another test of the new live streaming setup, and well, I need you guys to let me know how it's going, whether all the audio is currently working, whether all the various cameras are set up and doing their things, and most importantly, I'm currently working on the travel kit guitar acoustic, beautiful little tiny instrument that I'm building. I think I could have described that better. And my poor sister is currently editing the video for Saturday morning, i.e. Christmas Day, and she would like to have this footage sooner rather than later. This is Thursday, so I've got a little bit more to do before she has the end of the video. Now the process is, I promised that I was going to use a knife to carve the neck. I then realized I didn't actually have any knives that were suitable for carving a neck, and I then realized actually after a little bit of thought that I did. I've got a Leatherman Free K4, I've got a tiny little Leatherman Free T4, which is one of the tools that I carry on my person every single day. And then also my titanium leather charge, which is one of my favorite tools of all time already. And between these three tools, I've actually, well, I'm pretty much there. As you can see, we've done, nope, wrong one. There we go. We've got the first sections of the faceting done. Using rasps and files, I have thicknessed the neck to relatively chunky but thick, and also to the thickness I require, so 21 to 23 or thereabouts. And at this stage, I'm faceting the neck, i.e. taking the curve and making a chamfer all the way down. And then I'm going to bisect those chamfers, and then bisect those chamfers, and I'm going to end up with something that is basically carved and sorted. So yeah, there we go. Now, seeing as this is live, I'm going to be doing two things. I'm going to be completely ignoring you while I'm actually filming, and the beauty of this new setup is that I can click a record button and it will record what I'm talking about and what I'm doing, and that is the footage that will go onto an SSD and be given to my sister to edit tomorrow morning. She is getting next week off. if, and this is a big if she decides to take some time off. I suspect, being like me, that she's gonna not. But anyway, Talitha is the MVP in this situation. So yes, while I'm recording, I'm going to be talking to you in the future when you're watching the edited video, and then when I'm just streaming, I'll be talking to you guys. There are currently 33 of you here at zero notice. That's welcome. Let's see who's in, actually. We've got Ed Kovac, Rob Tootle, JLP Guitars, Ian M, The Real Wonky Dog, Sergio, Magic Music, Adam, a few people who I don't often see, and some that are here all the time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, if there's any super chats to answer, I absolutely will answer them every now and then. And every now and then I will stop and look through. I'm not expecting hundreds of people to come this evening, but yeah, it should be fun. Have any of you ever used a knife to carve a guitar neck? I personally, this is my first time, and I'm enjoying it. I remember watching I think it was Yairi Guitars, potentially, a Japanese master guitar builder who builds acoustic guitars, world-renowned, and yeah, this is essentially the knife that he uses to carve all of his necks, and it's a very light cedar or mahogany style. It looks like a very, very soft wood that he's using, and I understand why that would be desirable. Anyhow, so I need to, you are going to see me moving the one camera around a lot. This camera off to the side here is my mobile one. I don't have a long enough HDMI cable for it yet, but you know, it's one of those things. It is one of those things. So, well, let's see what we've got. All right. Questions. Ian M's used a spoke shave. He's used a belt sander. I tried a belt sander once and it scared me. In fact, the most scariest thing I've ever tried to do to carve a guitar neck with was that angle grinder mounted carving tool. Oh, I can't remember what they're called now. It's like chainsaw teeth around the disc. So scary. Removes so much material so fast. But there we go. Ian has also used a random orbital sander only, but never a knife. Dave says he can barely sharpen a pencil with a knife. Anyway, here we are. I think we're pretty good. Now the biggest issue I've currently got actually is I need to make sure, I can't see on the screen, most of the time the screen turns off. I'm going to figure it out. Where's my pencil? Oh no, I've lost a pencil. Never mind, I have a spare. All right. Record. So at this stage, another day, I've come in late in the evening because I fancy it to finish carving this neck. I'm very much looking forward to getting the little headstock areas sorted. That's gonna be fun. I might need a gouge in there, maybe. I'm not gonna let choosing to use just Leatherman affect the quality of the tool, or at least just a knife affect the quality of the final guitar. Yeah, something like that. First of all though, I need to bisect the rest of these and carry on carving with a knife. Or do I need to remove that? I think I need to remove that, come to think of it. I need a more curved blade here. So out comes my Leatherman Free T4. This is one of the two Leatherman tools that I carry with me all the time. And the reason I do is, well, it's a fantastic little tool, but it's also got the best scissors I've ever had on a multi-tool ever. But it's also got a much greater curve on the blade. So that should, it's almost as if it was designed for this job. Like butter. Okay, I am semi going against the grain there, which isn't a good idea. Right, that's a start. Now I can do some bisecting. That's there, and I'm marking halfway in between each of these facets. You either want a short ruler or a flexible one. I think a short ruler is probably better. Yep. Yep, let's find a short ruler. Or even... Nope. All right. Yeah, I don't think that actually affected the quality of the streaming, which is pretty cool. We can have both things going. Now I'm thinking, of course, I'm talking to you guys now watching the stream. There are there's 70 of you watching. Crikey. Okay. Hi everybody. Click like. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I wasn't expecting quite so many people to hop on at such short notice. What are you all supposed to be doing right now? That's always the interesting thing. I suppose it's yeah, it's about 9:45 in the evening here where I am. I'm supposed to be going to sleep, but I made a mistake of having a little bit too much dessert. It is the season after all. And I'm now very much awake. Okay, it's easier to have that there. There we go. So I want to record this bit. So what I want to do is bisect that and carve that away as well. Back to the bigger tool. Now my grain, I've got a weird grain coming up into here. Seriously, let's not forget where we want to cut. Really is really important. Now, while I'm live streaming and and doing this, I need to remember to concentrate on what's actually being made, as well as the shots and where the cameras are and all of this stuff. But yeah, it's all good. I think what I actually need is a fourth camera. A little bit further. Hello, hi. So there's a TV up there, or a screen up there that I'm looking at, and that works rather well. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is either slip and cut yourself and slash or cut the wrong bit of the guitar. So yeah, there is that. It is really wanting to be this way. Cross-grained nonsense. Okay. If you have any questions for me, ask away. There's a cross-grained section here that is actually making this quite difficult. So I suspect in the end, well, I'm definitely going to have to use an abrasive of some sort at the very end. Yeah. That does not want to go cleanly. Okay. All right, so this Leatherman K4 that I've been using, this has been sitting in my camera bag. It's also got the scissors, etc. It hasn't seen that much use actually since I got it, so the blade hasn't been sharpened. It's still fresh out the box. It's a really cool tool. It's changed this angle a little bit. The problem I've got with the overhead camera is that it shows just how bad my head tattoos are. I was just in the process of trying to figure out how and what to do about fixing them. When COVID hit and all of the lockdowns happened and everything, and I haven't got around to going back. Don't get cheap tattoos, folks. Seriously. If you listen to anything I ever say, that's it. Let's see if there's any questions. All right, 105 of you. Joe Brown says, had any chance to look at any of the giveaway questions or comments yet? Have any resonated with you? Quite a few. Quite a few have, yes. I have spent most of today actually at Crimson headquarters spraying the final coats of gloss lacquer on my daughter's guitar, which is going to be the video that goes live on New Year's Day. I don't think there's going to be a midweek video going live on the main channel next week, but you will see that. Paul Cook says, is there a first aid kit nearby? There is a first aid kit nearby. I am trying to be aware of where my hands are, but yeah, there we are. No, old school Barbie, I'm not putting the knife on a drill. Matt Lang says, what's Santa getting me? The other day I managed to trade. I've been collecting watches for a long time. I absolutely love them. And I traded a box. Rephrase. The watch market has gone insane. And I traded a box of watches that I bought on eBay from charity shops, random people, 50 quid here, 100 quid there. I managed to trade them up for this, which is the Omega Speedmaster grey side of the moon, and it's ceramic and a platinum dial and stuff, and quite frankly, that's Santa. The rest is just going to be just an awesome day with my family, I think. Anyway, okay, that's enough questions. Stream health is going well. Okay. Joe Brown says he's impressed that I'm able to focus on all these things at once. The stream, the real video, the work itself. I'm not too sure about the work itself at this stage, but we shall see. Let's get another shot for Talitha. It really is. I could have chosen wood that worked with me rather than against me. Where would the fun be in that, though? Oh, that's just the best bit. Just carving in there. The biggest issue I've got is that the record button and the live stream button is that it's like they are right next to each other. There's a 3mm gap, and pressing stop record and pressing stop the live stream, so close. Anyway, now the grain is going this way. What I really need is a record remote button, and that's the thing I miss. So I used to, up until this kit, which is the Atom Mini Pro, I've been using my Canon EOS M6 Mark II and the 90D to film, and I've got a remote control, just a little thing that sits in my pocket with a button. And with that, I just need to push a button and it starts recording. You can't do that with this, sadly. Okay, so I'm gonna, using my finger as a depth guide, just draw along the bottom of the fretboard. The fretboard's a little bit thicker than I would normally go, but it is what it is. And normally, of course, you can actually see much easier what your fretboard is, or where it is. But this time, we don't have that luxury. Now we're going for a fairly D-shaped neck this time. And then after the fact, I'm going to assess what I think about it and adjust. Whoops. Okay, I think at this point Talitha's probably got more footage than she really wants. So I'm going to try and keep it down a little bit. Can you guys let me know in the comments how the, or at least in the live chat, how the quality of the image is, and how all of that is doing for you guys. Another issue I've got to constantly think about is I'm using the microphone, a lapel mic, and that's battery operated. And in my last batch of filming, I twice missed that the batteries had gone out, because where I used to check to see if it's still working is on the camera, and I still look there, whereas where I'm supposed to be looking is on the screen. So, yay. Jacksonville, it is not Sunday. Matt Lang says that can't have been a box of Seikos. Do you know what? Seikos, they are actually pretty well sought after. Some of the vintage Seikos are insane, or have insane value. And some of the modern ones are truly incredible. All right. Whoa, that was nice. Oh, let's see if I can get that again. Vices, always letting me down. That's interesting. I actually find it much more comfortable. I'm riding the bevel of the knife here, and I find it much more comfortable pulling. I seem to have more control. One of the really interesting things about this current project, oh, I'm not going to like that shape. Haha, not at all. One of the interesting things about this current guitar build is that I am not in my comfort zone, not by a long shot. Do you know what? I'm actually going to completely bisect that. For example, you all watched me, I assume, fumble around with those with the big saws. I don't use panel saws. I haven't used panel saws for a long time, and definitely not in anger. Not for cutting big long rips like I've needed to. I'm using Autosol chrome polish here on a leather strop. Now this, it's the free T4. This is on me all the time, and is one of my favorite tools, and gets almost daily use, opening packages and whittling sticks and things when I'm off walking with the kids, or taking the puppies out or something like that. So yeah, this is not as sharp as it was out of the box. But it doesn't take much, as long as there aren't nicks and things. All right, so I've just had a quick look at the stream stats. There's more people currently watching this stream than we normally get on the Sunday night Luthier's Question Time stream, which is strange because it's at the same time. There you go, that should do that. Wow. If you guys haven't yet seen it, you should check out the yesterday's video on the main channel. Well, we're talking about GGBO obviously, because that's coming up, and I decided after the last super Reddit of Shred that I really should raffle that guitar off in aid of GGBO, and that raffle went live, and you're going to hear a lot of promotion for it over the next couple of weeks while that's still going. Gosh darn it, this cross grain is not being my friend. Especially this little bit where I've got that joint. That's going to give me a much better shaped neck though. More to my liking at least. Where are we? There we go. Where possible, I'm going to try and not move the camera that you're actually watching. And there's also a giveaway happening at the same time. Unfortunately, it's just on Instagram. But yeah, we're giving away a bunch of stuff, including a Leatherman tool, actually. And yeah, in fact, I probably should talk about it on this video. I'm going to have to talk about it on this video. Okay, I'm going to do that now. Hold on. It's a Leatherman charge, isn't it? Okay. If you're watching this live, we are currently running both a raffle to win the guitar I built earlier in the year, Shred, and also a big giveaway on Instagram where you can actually win or get given a bunch of stuff. One of my guitars, the 250mm guitar, and a Leatherman tool, and some isotunes, and some Crimson stains, and new sets of stains, and t-shirts and bits and pieces. You should seriously go and check that out. Back to carving, shall we? Back to carving cross-grained nonsense. Where are we? There we are. Oh, there's this first super chat. First super chat of the evening. Thank you very much to Aaron Lee. Merry Christmas to you and your family, Ben. You've got to do more of these. Live build and a view into your filming routines. Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure. And, well, hold on. Yes, thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. Here's my filming routine. Forgetting to put my phone on silent. There we go. That message was actually Ricky, who is supposed to be chilling out, sending me a message to tell me not to miss the super chat that just popped up. So yeah, Ricky, how's it going? I've found that there's a viewer activity page on the back end of YouTube that saves all super chats, so I don't have to actually watch for them as they come through anymore, which was the case when we first started about 60 live streams ago. Yeah, if they pop up green or whatever color, and I see it and answer. So yeah, super chats, pretty cool. Okay, be careful in this area. I'm slicing rather than trying to force huge chunks. I'm slicing smaller sections away, and that is seeming to work better. And this small blade is actually quite nice as well. It's got a little bit more control. Both of the Leatherman have undercut blades. I know that's the wrong term. Let me know let me know what I'm trying to say here. It's not just a wedge shape. They've had a nice curve ground into them, which, well, it's nice and curvy. So yeah, part of the competition is figuring out what you guys want to see us do. Can you tell what's on my mind at the moment? It's yeah, it's that. Yeah, I'm interested to see what you guys have in mind for the channel moving forward. Now, yeah, Aaron wants to see more live streams, and I am figuring out how I would want to do that. I think I worry that what I'm doing right here is going to sort of ruin the video that's going to go live next week for 140 of you. But that feels cool. But yeah, there's always going to be smaller projects. So I'm going to be making planes. I'm going to be doing repairs and stuff like that. And where it's a live stream that it's, hey, I'm here, I'm streaming me carving a little bit of a neck. I think that's cool. We all get together, we talk about guitars. Yeah, I think it's cool. But if, for example, it's just I'm always streaming everything that I do, I think that might be a little bit more boring. Okay, so a little bit more boring is one thing, but also a little bit more, it feels a little bit self-centered for one thing, but I really don't want to take away from the final videos, if you know what I mean. Okay, I'm going to stop talking to you now. Nearly there. So we've got a fairly chunky shape, which I kind of want to a certain extent for the travel guitar. I want as much material as there as possible, but I'm going to have to bisect this one curve one more time, and I'm actually going to have a guitar that I could just leave like that, and I would be comfortable playing it. Still. I actually use my actual Leatherman Multitool. This is Autosol chrome polish on a little leather strop with knives with the double bevel on it. I actually find it a lot easier to control the strop rather than move the blade. There is no right way. The only right way is the way that works, and works well. Anyway, I use this knife a lot, so it does need a little bit of a touch-up. So you can see how that's going to make a big difference to the feel. Nope. Wrong one. Okay, so this is working well as a pull. That's also got a nice curve for doing that. I do think I prefer, yeah, I prefer this one in there. Yeah, and we've got our cross-grain weirdness again. So it's at this angle that it's weird. There's a saw on this as well. Okay, I did that as a joke. I definitely did that as a joke. Is that... I'm cutting the turkey. Huh. No. No, 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 no. Knife it is. That's good. Where are we? Coming up on 10:30. What time is it where you are? This is the worst bit. The grain here. Not nice. Nope. Nope. By Jove, I think we've got it. You'll notice that wherever possible, I've got my left hand on the blade at the same time. Let's go in close. And repeat for Talitha. You'll notice that as much as possible I've got both hands on the knife, and it just gives you an element or a further element of control. Let's watch my fingers under your hair, yeah? One, I know where my hand is. Two, I'm running my hand along the bottom of the neck, and yeah, it's like mountain climbing. Not that you will ever see me climbing a mountain, but yeah, multiple points of contact at all times. Rather important. Anyway, I think we are almost there. I must say, happy Christmas. This video is going live. If you're watching it on day one, then what are you doing? You're supposed to be with your families. Unless you're avoiding your families, in which case, I understand. I can see how much fun it would be to carve a neck with a knife if you've got the right piece of wood. And if you weren't silly enough to put in a scarf joint that would just fuzz up everything. But I've now got, just through making a few facets, I've now got a neck that is perfectly comfortable. It's exactly what I want. Now it's an infinite regression kind of a thing, isn't it? You go and you just take the top off that line, and you can go to infinity. So just rounding that over, we'll yeah, you can see what's happening. I've got cross grain. You keep on rounding until you've got a perfect circle. Pie, if you will. Let's make some pie. That was a terrible joke. Okay, stop. Thank you. For a second there, I thought I'd clicked stop live stream. Okay. Graham B, just a silly question. If Ben put a battery in his pocket, would that classify him as a power tool? I suppose. Do you know what? This is the one thing nobody's actually commented on, the fact that I am using power tools to film the whole process, and thus am breaking my own rules. Is that focused on my face? Is it actually? Does this image look in focus to you guys? Some of you are looking at me on big TVs and things, which never ceases to freak me out. But hey, okay. Let's change this one again. So yeah, I think I need a few more cameras, and if I get them set up nicely, then I won't have to spend quite so much time moving things around, which is going to make life much better for me. Let's play around here a little bit more. And this facet here can be, at least initially, brought up. All right. I'm pretty much there. I think. So we've been going for an hour. Okay, I'm not going to wait the full 10 seconds. We've been going for exactly an hour now. I'm going to run through some questions now, turn this into a bit of a Luthier's question time. Normally on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. UK time, I do... are we going to focus? Maybe not. Yeah, I answer a bunch of questions, Luthier's questions. Just let me know what you are interested in. But yeah, I'm going to do a bit of that this evening. Why not? So we're all here, aren't we? Let's just get this a little bit tidier. The smaller blade here actually works, well, of course it works better in curves because it's a smaller blade. Anyway, I'm going to call that a day for this video. Hold on, stop. I'm going to now, this happened in the last live stream. I said, hey everybody, thank you, goodbye, yada yada yada. I was talking to Letha and the edit, and then I was going to carry on with the live stream, and a bunch of people signed off. So stick around, we're good. Just yeah, let me finish up the other video. This really is going to be a very comfortable neck. All right. Anyway, I'm going to call that a day, and I'm going to call it a success. I did actually end up needing all three Leatherman tools. I've got the Charge, the T4, and the K4, I think it is. Yep, the K4. And they all had their uses within the different shapes and facets of this neck. Would I choose to carve a neck with a knife of any sort as my standard go-to normal everyday choice? No, probably not. If I was on a desert island though, I have already publicly said that the one tool that I would take would be my Leatherman, and I would of course be building guitars. Let me know in the comments below what you think I would have to use for the strings. I'm thinking coconut bark has fibers in it. Coconuts do. What could I do? What is my desert island guitar making regimen to look like? Anyway, that's enough. I am of course gonna rasp and file the final shape in. I've still got a slightly faceted neck here. I'm gonna do some sanding and all of that jazz, and that is gonna be in the next episode. I've got inlays to do. I've got a whole guitar to build. Now it is Christmas Day. The actual kit has just launched for pre-order on the Crimson Guitars website with various different options available to you. If you are interested in this, we will be sending out an email to the hell of a lot of you who registered an interest when I first started this build 1 episode ago. But yeah, more will come. Click like, subscribe. Go and subscribe to the Extras channel where I do live streams, including everything you've just seen with me wearing this shirt. And most importantly, go and make some sawdust. Stay cool. See you soon. Goodbye. Okay, that's a wrap, everybody. Yeah, I think there are some necks where it actually would make sense. The blade that I saw the Japanese guy using, or the Japanese luthier, was shaped something like this one, which is actually why I bought this this Leatherman in the first place, the K4. I thought, ooh, yeah, I've seen that shape before, and yeah, the whole thing worked out very well. Anyhow, let me bring the computer around to the front. Hit me with some questions, people, and I will answer them as much as I possibly can before calling it a night. All right. Real Wonky Dog says, proper ASMR sound of the knife on wood there. I really have seriously considered, if I had any energy. I personally don't like most ASMR channels. It's not my thing. I'm one of those people where random noises really annoys to the point of contemplating violence. But an ASMR channel based entirely on woodworking and on planes and sharp tools, that's my jam. And yeah, I thought that would be quite good. Ed Kovacs asking me, what did I ask Santa to bring you? We've already spoken about I just got myself a new watch by trading up majorly, which is really good. But other than that, we'll see. A quiet day. It's gonna be lovely. A quiet day with no requirement to record myself doing anything. It's gonna be great. Sergio S says, as a watch collector, what would you say is the most overrated and underrated watches? Omega are intensely underrated for the price point. I'm very, very lucky in that I've managed to buy a few Rolex at list price, at retail price, and they immediately go and treble in value or whatever, depending on the watch you've got. I'm very, very lucky, and I'm aware of that. But if you objectively look at the quality between this, which is the Omega Grey Side of the Moon, and even the Daytona, I mean, that's fairly close run thing. The Daytona is luxury, but you know, standard Submariner is blown away by this watch, emphatically, and always will be. Rolex, what you're paying for is marketing and market position as much as anything else. Overrated. I'm not even gonna. You have some Rolexes are overrated. The final, yeah, basically the final fit and finish on a lot of Rolexes is overrated. They are, however, bulletproof and will run forever and will do all that sort of stuff. Anyway, look, we don't want to talk about watches too much. Aussie Alonen's come in with a question, said, building a travel electric guitar that should withstand some heavy-duty wear, tear, use and abuse, what crimson finishing product would you recommend? A maple body and neck Wenge fretboard. To be honest, if you have access to a spray booth, I would go 2K lacquer, which is something we don't actually sell. But that being said, finishing maple, you want a lacquer or a varnish, really. So it's the water-based. We call it lacquer. Water-based lacquer is probably the best. Jack Roadkill says, "How did you find the edge retention on the Leatherman blades, Ben?" Bloody good. This here, I've had this particular tool now for, gosh, it's got to be 6 months, and you literally just watched me hone the edge for the first time. Now, I haven't put it to huge wear. I mean, I split some kindling with it a couple of times, come to think of it, and as I've mentioned before, I've, you know, whittling things on walks and all of that, and opening packages on an almost daily basis. So yeah, bloody good, really. Tahoe Mike says, nearly all islands are awash in old fishing line. Very good point. Monofilament is everywhere, and maybe the odd bit of cable or wire leaders. So one, that fills me with sadness. Two, I would at least be able to build guitars. Stephen Clark says, I got an early Christmas present. I got an Orange Crush 35 watt, and it's the best solid state amp I've ever played through. For the money, best thing on the market. That's I love Orange. I love the sound. I mean, it's a very particular sound that they've got. In fact, I'm yeah, I'm hoping to go and visit their workshop on Denmark Street at some point and film that. So that'll be something coming on the channel at some point. They're really cool there. Yeah, for the money, best thing on the market. That's how I feel about the Moonwatch, actually. Incredible. I'm not going to read your name because it's in Cyrillic and I don't read that, but how are you going to protect the flamed or the burnt fingerboard from string scratches and others? Oil or lacquer? I'm going to be using guitar finishing oil. I'm just going to flood it, but I need to get all of the inlays done. Looking at it from the side, in this video I took away a lot of the, I took away I took away the edges. I cut the edges off, and you can see just how thin the flame is. So really, I'm probably in the inlay process going to lose most of that. Now the neck is still fantastically solid and straight, so I might even reburn it. We'll see. Oh, there's another super chat. Matt Lang. Matt, how are you? Matt says, have you tried water-based paints like they're using on Trent guitars down Dorset way? I'm down Dorset way. There's not allowed to be any other guitar builders down Dorset way. Loving these streams. Have a great Christmas. Overrated is Hublot. Thank you. There we go. That was the brand that was on the tip of my tongue. Although, okay, so Hublot are now using in-house movements, and I really like the spirit of Big Bang. I have very, very large wrists, and the way the spirit of Big Bang fits, it really does it for me. So yes, but I feel naughty for wanting one. Buy that on the secondary market, that's for damn sure. Bill says Timex watches are overrated. Timex are not something that we really get in the UK, but there we go. Zach Ellison says, Ben, do not pull knife towards your thumb or body if it's razor sharp. I did that to myself when I was young and dumb. Thumb cut deeply but healed in 3 months. Safety first, always. Yes. Yes, as a general rule, absolutely 100%. But the way that I was using this was in an incredibly controlled manner. I don't want to say do what I say, not what I do, but I don't know. Matt Tomon says Ben needs more likes. So there we go. Give me likes. Barry Christmas says, have you watched Pablo Requena? He uses Japanese knife to carve heel and neck transitions. I have not that I know. Let's put it that way. I watch a hell of a lot of YouTube, mainly not guitar building, but when I do, I really internalize the name of the person. Now, somebody else said Toodford, or T. Woodford, is what he's actually called. He uses knives to carve a lot, and I have seen him do that a lot. Yeah. Ed Kovac says, ask Nico Leonard about Hublot. I love how passionate he gets about them. Passionate, if by passionate do you mean swearing a lot and bulging at the temple. I've unsubscribed from his channel like 3 times because he delights and annoys me. It's incredible. Stu says, Hamilton watches are awesome for the money and great for big wrists. That's a very good point. Hamilton do make some incredible watches. Seriously incredible watches for the money. Yeah, they did the... Wow, this is turning into a watch podcast, live stream, sorry. They did the Men in Black watches, which I love. They're so cool. Okay, give me questions, people. Paul Needs talks about the Apple Watch. I think the Apple Watch is great because it's getting more people into real watches. Adam to Remember has got his tickets for the raffle. Happy to contribute to GGBO22. Happy holidays and looking forward to getting my Crimson Uncut kit, hopefully in the new year. So much work has been done on the kits. We've had a bit of an issue with the big CNC machine having a bit of a tear down. It is a second-hand machine. It would be about 125 grand if I'd bought it new. And we got 100 grand off that, or thereabouts. So this past week, instead of actually delivering a bunch of kits as we'd hoped, we had the machine apart and were changing actuators and bits and pieces. John Black says the latest titanium Seamaster with Milanese bracelet is my latest dream watch. It's the new Bond watch. I looked at that very, very closely. I really don't like, at the risk of putting you off your watch, the way that that particular crystal makes the dial look around the edge. I don't know, it just annoys me. But anyway, Ivan Wizard has got the Men in Black watch from the movie. Fantastic. I really love that. Creever is saying, rule number 1, no watches. I'm not the one talking about watches. Joe Brown says, this isn't a question, but if anybody's selling a Gibson Explorer, please list online before prices reach nonsense levels. Are they I haven't heard anything about the Explorers. Dr. Satan says, Ben, how would you compensate for a drilled 10mm hole for a 9.5mm ferrule? Yes, it happened today. That's weird. You shouldn't have a 9.5mm ferrule. So the quick fix is to wrap some masking tape around the ferrule and bang it in and hope. That is not the right way to do it, but that's something that could potentially work short term. Another is to take a metal chisel to the ferrule. That really wouldn't work. Don't do that. Essentially, you've got 0.5 millimeter, or basically you want to gain 1 millimeter worth of stuff so that it compresses out, but that's only 0.5 millimeter on the walls. And if you, for example, put veneer in there, it's just going to shatter and be pushed out the way and just make an issue. What I would do is I would actually drill it out much bigger. So, for example, your ferrule's probably got a 12 millimeter lip. I would drill the hole out to 11mm, stick an 11mm dowel in there, and then re-drill it the right size. You're never going to see that you've had to dowel it, but once you've drilled it from the center, instead of only 0.5 millimeter on either side, which would crumple no matter how much glue you use or what glue you use, you'll have more. Somebody else do the maths for me. Can you tell me how this audio is sounding? Have we got any crackle or any strange issues? Stephen Clark says, I just found out my employer Lackland has branded watches. I'm about to buy a couple for myself and friends. Would you like one? Would you ever sell Crimson watches? I would love one. And would I ever sell Crimson watches? I seriously considered... I'm 99% convinced I've got ADD, and one of the things is, at least for me, is that I flit from project to project to project, and I get incredibly passionate, i.e. about watches and watch collecting and all of that. And I need to stop myself from starting new businesses and new projects. I really like the idea of... Thank you. Audio is fine. No crackling. I really like the idea of buying up old movements or old watches. You can buy movements for basically nothing because all of the gold and silver cases have been scrapped for metal and there's just movements floating around. And I thought it would be great to make a modern movement, but overhaul old Omega and Rolex or Jaeger-LeCoultre movements and things like that, but put it into a cool modern watch. Other people are doing that, but it would be my watch, and it would be, you know, actually, yeah, that would be cool. Kevin Webster, good question. What tools would you not go vintage? You've just reminded me that I've got a vintage Leatherman sitting here. There's a, okay. Damn it, I wanted to actually work that into this video and it's now too late. Clamps, depends. I mean, it depends on vintage. I've got some record clamps that are 50, 70 years old and they're absolutely fine, but 100 years old plus clamps, probably not a good idea. Rulers, definitely. Don't go vintage rulers. They are beautiful to look at. They were often made out of ivory, so that's frowned upon. Basically, most edged tools, vintage tools, actually are better unless you're paying a lot of money. So chisels and hand planes and things like that. But, yeah. Okay. Luthier de Pobra says, Ben, how do you sharpen a saw for book matching? You go and you watch Mr. Sellers. Don't just yeah, do that. I am not the man. It's a relatively straightforward process, but it does depend on the saw. Once you've got it right and using the file in the right angle and all that, yeah, it's fairly straightforward. But yeah, watch out. Now, Mr. Waffle says, after I killed my fossil watch, I stopped wearing them. That's because fossil watches cost fossil £2 or £3 to make. A real watch should last longer than that. The Real Wonky Dog says, how long are you staying with the feed? To be honest, I really should stop fairly soon, but I don't know. Keep some questions going. Feed me with super chats, and we'll see. Paul Needs doesn't generally buy good watches, at least not anymore, spring or crystal based. One way or another, my body kills them, and my skin acid seems to eat any kind of plating, even thin gold. I've met people who are just metal is allergic to them. I'm more sorry for your guitars than anything else. Ooh, G-Shock. Old School Barbie says G-Shock watches are the only ones for me, as they're the only ones that I don't break, apart from the one I blew up. There's a story there. I've got several GA2100 G-Shocks, the Casios, which are fantastic watches. Anyway, let's get back to guitar questions. Ricky says, take me with you to Orange Bend. Ricky, I will take you to Orange. You're there. It's fine. We're good. Stu loves this Amiga Seamaster Planet Ocean. I bought it as a present to myself when I was made redundant from the car industry 11 years ago. I love it. That is, I mean, that is the watch that Adam Savage wears almost every single day. And yeah, I've got the Seamaster Chrono Diver, which is mind-blowing. That was my first, second major watch. I remember getting that. I traded my first one in and phoned my wife immediately and said, this is the watch for me and I'm never buying another one in my life. She's like, yeah, okay. And that was a few watches ago. She knew. Okay, let's talk about guitars. Leveling binding, what's the best tool for the job? A scraper might be a bit wimpy. Scrapers are actually excellent for it until the scraper creates bumps, and then you're following the bumps along, and that sort of makes it worse. My favorite thing to use is a really massive chisel. Put the chisel on the flat wood next to the binding and just slowly edge it away until it's basically perfect. This is talking about the binding going up at right angles to it. On the edge, scraper, sanding block, etc. is probably the way to go. Old School Barbie says, wife has just bought me a coffee. Life is good. You've just reminded me I haven't had a coffee in hours. Okay. No, I would not use my beard to make guitar strings. Well, I mean, tempting. It would take a while. Rob Tootle, you're correct. It's not the knife I need to worry about, it's the truss rod. Yeah, that truss rod poking out did cause some issues, I must say. Zach Edison says, I think it would be better if you streamed on the shop floor and teaching / helping your students. I do not, honestly, one, I want people to actually come to the course. As much free information as I give out. Okay, let me completely rephrase that. The real benefit of being at the guitar building school at Crimson is that you're there, and the particular mistakes or issues that come up for you, like me carving this neck, that cross grain, that's something that a luthier will say, oh, that's not working, do this because of this. Or I can see this is going to be an issue for you, do that. So it could be interesting for you, but it does detract from the students' lessons, me setting up on cameras and talking to people and doing all this sort of stuff. I think live streaming will always be something for while I'm either on my own or working on projects that are for everybody else. We have a number of students who don't want to be filmed at all, and live streaming it on top of that, I don't think it's a good idea. Okay. Graham V said, just a few more cameras and just a couple more chisels, and don't forget the number, whatever, plain. Ben Time is asking if this is Sapedi that I'm carving. No, it is grade A 100% true real mahogany. I'm not entirely sure exactly where from. It was very old stock, but yeah, it's good stuff. Ian M, I'm so sorry. Purple Heart as binding is miserable. Yes, that's not a question, it's a statement, and I agree with you 100%. I'm trying to go through the questions. Paul's asking, is decaf coffee actually coffee? We don't really think so in this house. I think the decaf coffee is coffee in that every now and then the placebo effect actually does kick in, and it makes you it makes your body think that it's had caffeine. But anyway, Paul's asking if the neck is really as wide as it looks, or is this TV buggered up the perspective? It's not very wide at all, so your TV's buggered up the perspective. We're streaming in 1080. Yes, it's an Atom Mini Pro, I think, that I'm using to do all this streaming now. The stream isn't even hooked up to my laptop at all. The laptop's literally just here so I can see what you guys are talking about. Joe Brown, so strange how many of us are here watching this unusual man whittling away. It says a lot about us all. Does having us here significantly slow you down? No, not really. This was a half-hour job, and yes, it's late in the evening. Hell, it's 11 o'clock. If my family weren't asleep, and if I didn't know they were all asleep, I'm feeling particularly antsy, and I knew I wasn't going to get to sleep till 2 o'clock in the morning anyway. So, you know, come down and do a stream and finish the video so that I can deliver the footage for Talitha in the morning. I think it's all good. Carl Price says, Ben, there is a type of knife that is very interesting that could make carving like this more controllable. Take a look at the Yakut sometime and the shape of the blade. I don't have the computer hooked up to the screen, so I will Google that in a bit. There we go. Tony Homewood says next year he will be focusing on making guitars from existing bodies and necks. There are so many necks and bodies unloved and appreciated. I want to give them new life. I think that's a perfectly good way it's a perfectly good way to learn how to do more. And if that is the extent of what you want to do, it's a fantastic thing to do on its own. You know, if more of us recycled and upcycled and made do, then this world would be a hell of a better place. Oh, yes, it's a travel guitar. So the gentleman who said that this guitar looks really weird, really wide, it might actually, because it's far fewer frets. It could be part of the optical illusion. Bad Apple Guitar Works says he's really happy to see that people use a Leatherman for more than just a pair of pliers. Do you know what? My second favourite thing they've ever done is this little ratchet attachment. Hold on, where are we? It fits in. in the screwdriver. There's the screwdriver. Ratchet, lock. I've used this more. I've used this more than that. I'm a man who owns many screwdrivers and many tools and things, and this is the one that I pull out. It's incredible. I'm very, very much in love. It was entirely due to the live stream that Leatherman got in touch with me. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. Anyway, hollow ground. It's a hollow ground blade. That was a question I asked earlier. Okay. Bill says, is Crimson headquarters open between Christmas and New Year's, or is it a complete shutdown? I just want to know as I need to call Ricky. No, there are going to be people there. I'm not entirely sure who, but there will be people about. The workshop is open tomorrow if you need to call, either talk to Ricky or Tom or Sam. They will all be there tomorrow. I know that. Okay, and I need to Google Trent guitars as well. Now, questions. Give me questions. Kevin Webster, is a cigar spoke shave any good for the transition from head to neck? I find them a little bit difficult to control, which is why I don't own one. Personally, I do think that, I do think that I'm going to be using knives on those transition points a lot more than I ever have before. And other than that, a rasp is my tool of choice. Joe Brown says, any plan to beef up the production department, Ben? Yes, 100%. I'm not entirely sure how quickly that's going to happen, but it is. George Davis is asking me about the Maximum Guitar Works templates. Have I checked them out and what do I think? I think that I need to make my templates better so that I can be better than them, but they do look very, very cool. Not that ours are not good enough. Theirs are acrylic, which is much more expensive to source, etc. But I like the way they use locating pins, and that's something we're going to be working into ours more and more. We have also started putting more directions for use on our templates based on based on having said that months ago that we need to do it and then seeing these. So there we go. Phil Harmer is asking if I'm ever going to build a bass to go along with my river guitar. I found another piece of the bog oak in my stock. If you want, so they will be brothers. I'm going to be starting the snare drum soon. Phil, how are you? And I've actually bought a metric buttload of bog oak since, it's still wet as all hell. Yeah, you should come and visit again. It was great to see you. You are right. I should make a sister instrument. So tell you what, bring the oak down. We'll have a chat, and I'll buy it off you. And yeah, why not? Let's do something. Paul Cook saying, name drop Lamborghini. Maybe they'll send you one. I think that I would drive it for about 2 days and then crash. The area in which I live we do not have the roads. I would literally drown. I'm not joking. Ah, crikey. But, hey, I'll leave it at the workshop. 12 string, yes. Kevin's shocked about the spoke shave. It does work. Yes, the cigar shape spoke shave does work, but it is not as good as the knife, and it is not as good as a rasp. So yeah, I stand by my statement. Heart of Oak, how you doing? Popping in to see how we're doing. We're okay. Barry Christian says decaf actually has some caffeine in it. Oh my gosh. Useless brown water. I have not used amaranth for fretboard material, Mark Ellis, Merry Christmas, Ben. Planning my GGBO build, but haven't got the timber yet. Any timber yards you recommend in the Midlands, or could I buy some from Crimson? You can buy from Crimson. That's the best way to guarantee that it's properly dried, but I'm afraid at this time of night I cannot recall timber merchants. I am running low on energy. Sergio says, does nut material still matter if you're not playing an open string? No, not really. But it does when you are playing open strings, so you need to care about it. Never thought about it that way, but yeah. Okay. Matt Lang's wearing his GA2100. They're fantastic. I just got the clear one. It's amazing. Gramaso and Van Borden's made wood nuts. The tone is significantly different. Good for if you're going fretless, but make sure it's a very hard wood. I agree. I've used ebony in the past, and it makes a fantastic jazz tone. It really does. Anyhow, look, I think I'm going to call it an evening now. Stephen Clark, what is your would you rather question? I've completely missed it. I am fearing it now, but yeah. Let's see if I can find your comment so we can go from there. There we go. Would you rather make every guitar with nothing but a Leatherman, or give up your collection of gouges and chisels for guitar making? Would I rather always use a Leatherman, or... No, because see, the second one means that I get to use my Leatherman and my gouges and chisels when I want. So that was a poorly formulated question, Stephen. No, I would not want to do anything without chisels and gouges, in all seriousness. But then again, my day-to-day life would be significantly impacted if I wasn't allowed to have a Leatherman anymore. So, yeah. I've had one on my hip every single day for... I need to actually figure it out. It's got to be 15 years, maybe longer. Yeah, it's absolutely essential. The story was, I was in back in the day, a car, you know, you had those fuses in the cars. You probably still do right now, but I had a really old car, and rainstorm hit, and the fuse went for the windscreen wipers and it wouldn't work, and I couldn't actually even pull the fuse out with my fingers, and I didn't have a tool with me. So we stopped at a local garage, and I asked the guy to borrow some needle nose pliers, and he looked at me with the utmost scorn on his face and said, "You don't have a toolkit in your car?" And he sort of just tossed his head and walked away to get me a pair of pliers. And the very next day I went and bought myself a Leatherman. And that was it. I've had it with me every single day since, and I've used it almost every single day since. Anyway, look, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to say thank you very, very much for all of your support, for coming and watching. I can't believe that 140 or so of you actually came out at zero notice. Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good one. Have a good Christmas. Check out the raffle and the giveaway that's running. That's the video that went live yesterday on the main channel. And yeah. Mr. Waffles has sent an email to me at the Vintage Tool Shop about the Norris planes. Okay, I'll have a look at that. I've got a few. Yeah, normally on a live stream I've got a big pot of water and I drink a lot, and it has now been where are we? Nearly 2 hours with no water, and my voice is getting sore. Happy Christmas. Good night. I love you. Go make some sawdust. Bye-bye.